Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com!
Yes. Woo! Where are we, Jables? Where are we, Jables?
Life is a blur, and nothing means anything. I love this positive song that we're doing about life in general, right?
We're at 600, kids.
Oh my gosh.
We are at 600. We are at 600. How do you feel?
I feel...
Yeah, how do you feel? That was me. That was me getting excited.
You know, I feel like I'm thinking back to our first little studio.
Sure.
Up in the frog of our house for like episode 1 about Coachella. Again, what is Coachella even? That's not even a thing anymore.
No, nothing's a thing
We have
anymore.
been on so long that Coachella isn't a thing anymore. And I love to see it, and I love to be here for the
We've outlived
Coachella
festivals.
We have outlived music festivals, although I
Yeah.
just saw on the news, don't worry guys, Austin City Limits is still going on.
Yes.
Virtually, and you can buy a ticket and be let into the Zoom room.
No, I do not want any
festivals are not dead. They're making
part of
it.
that.
Nope.
I don't want any part of that.
No.
By the way, the set for Ross Patterson Revolution, the new one, is almost done. All we need to do is get it on wheels here, and we're good to go. We should be up and running next week, by the way, at the new set for Ross Patterson Revolution here in Austin, Texas. It is not just us that is moved. It is everyone making the mass exodus from LA. So we were in Nashville over the weekend, and Theo Vaughn is there now.
Yes.
Theo Vaughn is in Nashville. There's another big one that just moved to Nashville today. Ben Shapiro is moving his entire company there to Nashville as well. It's a big deal. Tommy Lahren is there. She moved to Nashville. You know,
Ben Shapiro, when he talked about it, it was a big deal, and he put it into perspective a little bit, even more than like, you know, Joe Rogan has Jamie.
You got one guy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he moving his family, so that's a couple people that are contributing probably a lot to the economy. But anyway, a couple people.
Yeah.
He's taking 75 employees. They're all moving with him.
Correct.
Leaving Los Angeles.
And paying their moving expenses.
Leaving their houses.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Look, Shapiro makes a lot of money.
He has a whole,
I've had the privilege to sit down and have lunch with him and his producers for 3.5 hours or whatever it was. I mean, it was amazing. They catered for us, and they had the finest whiskeys in the land. And it was amazing, and I got to pick their brain about this entire operation and everything they're running, right? So I can answer the questions of why they are moving.
He answered them, but yeah.
Well, there's some other ones. Like,
Oh.
Yeah. So besides of what he said on the show.
Oh, okay.
And I will say this. There came to be a certain point where he had to hire private security. Did you talk about that on the show?
Yes.
Okay. So he's a normal, great dude in real life, like for real, and very smart and very funny. Like I was surprised at how funny he was. But him describing going to synagogue with armed security and you know, people with guns and shit like that, like just going through your normal day with children in Los Angeles, doing what he does there, it was a gigantic burden. The other part about it was like his office. Now that he's moving, I can talk about this. Like there's nothing on the building. It is not where you expect it is supposed to be. And you're kind of shocked because he's hiding in plain sight there. And that was all part of it too. And then you had to go up through, you know, 6 or 7 floors and all this other stuff to get there and everything else. And it was like, I think there was also like this is my personal belief. There was a genuine fear of like, what's going to happen in this next election if Trump wins and he's still there and all that other stuff. And I think all of that combined with the other things that he talked about on the show with the homelessness and, is the weather, the mild winter's nice enough to keep you there, like all that stuff. I think that was a big combo combined. And he told us, like, he was like, the freedom that you guys have and you're able to move around and where you were currently shooting and living, and at that time it was North Carolina, and the other guys were in Texas. He was like, I will never ever get that here now because I think it has all gone too far, and I think he's right. And you weren't here for the show last week with Jared, but we had talked about this of what we thought was going to happen after this next election, because unfortunately, I think Austin's going to burn. And I think LA is going to burn. I think some really fucked up shit is going to happen after this election.
Austin's going to burn?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think that people will take to the streets, and this will be very, very aggressive. And some of these cities that the protests have happened in, where you're just like, man, because you and I were here for the last one with Black Lives Matter and all that other shit. Like, I just think it's going to bubble up that night, because I truly believe he's going to win. And I think there's going to be even more problems in LA, more problems in Austin. And I think the timing of his exit is very curious in that November date of like, hey, man, let's get all of our people out of here before this election happens. So I understand it. Now, Theo Vaughn, on the other hand, just moving, he does a one-man show with his...
He's a newbie, and... Shapiro even talked about this. Like, I'm born and raised here, love it here. Like, I'm not a newbie. I'm not someone that just can't fucking hack it. Like, I've been here making this work, and getting to the level that he was at in LA means like you fucking grinded in LA even when it was hard.
Yeah.
Even when you couldn't afford shit, whatever.
And in a conservative town.
I mean, I'm sorry,
a liberal town.
A liberal town,
doing a conservative show.
So that's the difference, I think. Theo has always talked, he's not from LA, right? So he's from Louisiana. He's very much like talks about that. And so he has always not really felt comfortable there, right? So for him, it was like, oh, okay, my friends are leaving. For Ben Shapiro, it's a real concern for his family and his family's security. When you walk outside to take your kids to school and there's a homeless person getting trash out of your trash can that's literally in your driveway, and then you're driving them to school and then they're pissing all over the ground. Like, it's something that, and the wildfires as well, which is like, the drought is something they could do something about, and they can do controlled burns to make sure that that it's not just a sitting box of tinder.
And that's what Trump has said for a while. Of like,
absolutely.
Hey, man.
Well, Gavin Newsom just recently conceded the fact, but this is literally just now.
Yeah.
Like, he just now was like, we could have done more.
Yeah.
But climate change.
I know. There it is.
And so, I think there's a number of things, and I think we don't see, or people in California just don't see an end to these things that are happening. They only see a worsening.
Yeah, I do too. And to close off the Shapiro thing, like I think he was worried about getting assassinated. I know that sounds strange, but like I think the level that this is going to go to after this next election, like, I think people are going to lose their shit for a little bit,
I don't know.
I do.
But,
I do. I looked, even Trump said it the other day. He was like, man, I think I'll get assassinated in this next term.
Of course he did. But
you don't?
Do I think he will?
Yeah.
No.
And I think, because here's the other part of this too. Like, because it's not just Trump. There was a lot of hatred towards Obama as well when he was in there, right? I thought the same thing about Obama, like where I was like, man, is he going to get picked off because of the craziness that's going back and forth on this? Like, I don't know. You never know. And I think now, because you were there in Los Angeles, like, it's a fucking hellhole. Like,
I was in Ventura. So
no, but when you came down to work with us, you were there for a week, and you were in the belly of the beast.
It was a lot.
Yeah. It was a
It
lot.
was a lot,
And
but-
like Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez, I know this is a story that we talked about a couple months ago with the Chip and Joanna Gaines show redoing that house on Malibu. Mm-hmm. They sold that house
Right.
for zero profit. I think everybody is pulling up stakes and saying, all right, everything's about to crash.
Malibu, though?
$0 they got.
Malibu, you can keep your house probably, right? Like Malibu.
Yeah.
If the protests and the riots come to Malibu,
Zero
then we're all screwed.
dollars. When you have a house that Chip and Joanna Gaines redecorates and remodel to flip, and you make $0 out of it, like, and the fact that you're not waiting and you're saying, hey, we're getting rid of this now, signals more problems to come. And Shapiro and everybody else, like, people are paying attention. The world is paying attention what's going on in these cities. And somebody asked me on the flight back from Nashville, they were a fan of the show and of Drinkin Bros, and they were like, what do you think the end game is with Los Angeles? Because they were living in Los Angeles. They had spent a lot of time there over the last 4 years. Now, me personally, I think you've got to get rid of this leadership, and it will happen. I really believe that. I think people in California will be fed up with it at a certain point. We'll see when that is. But my guess was 2028 is when it'll start to be cleaned up again. Because that's when the Olympics are coming there, and the world is coming there, more importantly. And so these Olympic committees, this happened in Atlanta, because I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So in 96, downtown Atlanta was a fucking shithole, man, back then. And they were trying slowly, like 2 to 3 years before the Olympics got there, that's when they were trying to clean up everything and started building new parks and getting rid of the homelessness and all that other shit. And it was because the world was coming there. And if the world comes there and your city is a shithole, not only is it just an American problem at that point, but it is a global problem where it's just like, Jesus Christ, America can't get their shit together. So I think that's when you'll probably start to see LA cleaned up. But so all of these people moving, you want to spend the next 8 years of your life there while they figure it the fuck out before the Olympics? No.
Well, and he also, one more point that he made, which is true. The people that are going to leave are the ones with the means to do so. So the only people that will be left in California are people that don't have money to leave.
Right.
They don't have means. They
Right.
don't have a big company. They don't have things that are going to contribute to the economy in a real way. So leaving Los Angeles costs a lot of fucking money.
Yes.
So if you don't have the money to do it, you're going to have to stay. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And continue to not make money, right? Or just live in a failing
Economy
burning,
and
drought,
state. It's
rolling blackout,
Yeah.
whatever economy, and get more and more pissed and angry. And, you know, I don't do the outrage thing or the prediction of horrible things happening. That's just not what I do. So for me, like, I don't see it in my travels and in my life. So I don't know how horrible it's going to get in other places than California and New York, right?
Right.
I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
I think maybe some stuff will burn and some people will protest in these bigger cities and stuff. I think.
Yeah.
I probably won't see it where I'm at.
Yeah. Look,
So I don't know what's going to happen.
We will be downtown here on election night, and
We will.
we had this conversation on the show last week with Jared. You know, we're all doing the show together. Jared's like, "Hey, man, I'm leaving my car at your house. Like, we're Ubering in," and he goes, "I want no part of whatever is going to happen
Right.
when he gets elected." Because make no mistake, and we're going to do a pre-election show and all that stuff. We'll all go over state by state, but I think he's going to win, and I think those electoral college votes will come in quickly. The mail-in ballot bullshit will happen 3 weeks later. Biden might win the popular vote, but make no mistake, I think on November 3rd, there will be a winner declared, and that's when shit's going to get wild. So we'll see. It would be helpful if it was later in the evening, you know, because people aren't going to go out at 2:30 in the morning. But you want to wait till sunrise and stitches like that. Because I was in New York when Hillary lost, and the day after. And they couldn't get shit going until the next night, where it was just
Right.
like, all right, at least you saved
Then
yourself.
it
Yeah, because
really-
it went on to like 2:30 in the morning. This is episode 600, kids, and we want to thank you. We are live on YouTube. Hammer the like button. If you are watching now, just took a flight back from Nashville. It was with Kid Rock and John Daly. You guys heard the show yesterday. We're back live in the studio. Like we said on yesterday's show, we're not doing any crazy parties for 600 or anything. 1,000 we will, because we're going to keep going. And, look, we'll be at 700 in 100 days here, essentially. So we can't keep doing things where it's just like, hey, cool, man.
Right.
We're in this for the long haul with you guys. We love you, man. And we appreciate the support every day. So to start off this show, because the video drives audio numbers, right? Our audio is our bread and butter as far as like what pays for everything and employees and all of this shit. We've spent a lot of our money into video because the larger your video audience is, the more people listen to audio and vice versa, right? We're grateful, unbelievably grateful to the Nooner crew who always shows up at a time that is definitely not noon, usually in the 12:15, 12:30 range, probably 12:45 today. Who knows? That's because of me. Daddy had a little problems getting the engines going, but I'm going to run down the list.
You had problems putting on your shoes.
Yep, my child took a shit in my shoe today, so that is real.
Welcome home, Daddy.
Yep. Nico the Greco, first in the room. Ruben Schneider, these are all our YouTube nooners here. Colby Lane, Lloyd Burke, Tyler Chamness, Aaron Chestness, Brent Stark, Hengel McCringleberry, still one of my favorite names of all time, by the way.
The best.
Itamashi, Caleb, Rec90, AJ Gamble, Kevin Knights, Big Dick Danoff is in here, Jordan LaPointe, Taylor Clark. Who is this? Craigers is in here, of
Craig,
course.
he said, hey, Ross, can we leave our car at your house and Uber in? No, our house is not the parking lot and Ubering in.
No,
but
it's not. But Rihanna, we love you.
Rihanna, yeah.
She's always in here. Is there a
Rihanna,
confirmation?
yeah, we messaged with her for Broettes, and we're like, are we saying it wrong? And she's like, yeah, but it's fine. Danny K, my girls. Do we say the Hawk?
Oh,
you
the Hawk.
gotta say the Hawk
Gotta
and
say the
Richard
Hawk.
Danoff.
Yeah.
Where are the girls?
Greg LaMontagne is always
Julia.
in here. Danny K, dude.
Munguia?
We appreciate it. Oh, Julia Mungulia? Yeah.
Munguia.
Munguia.
What's happened to Brittany, you guys?
She died. Todd Welch.
Where's Brittany?
Shout outs. Reed White is always up in this bitch. No, but all you guys, Jacob Fraze, we are grateful, and Nick Grossman.
Sarah.
We're grateful that
Sarah
you guys
Rhodes.
tune in every day, because it helps the show, and eventually this YouTube algorithm will flip. We think it is flipped for some friends of ours, so we will see. But we're gonna keep doing live shows, and then Giorgio, how soon until we're doing like Facebook and Twitch and all that stuff? Hopefully we can test this weekend. Great. And the new set should be built and all that stuff. But we're amped that you're here with us.
Yeah, guys. Hopefully this weekend I can test it on all the streams. If you get a random Facebook message and you just see me going live, you'll know what's up. But hopefully we'll be bringing the studio across all platforms.
Awesome.
And that'll be a picture
awesome.
of his penis. So when you see that, so Julia Kirkus.
Yeah.
So Julia, you got married. Is your last name now Munguia?
Great question.
Or is that, because she said Kirkus got married.
Yeah.
So Julia, is that you? And did you marry someone with the last name Munguia?
If so,
amazing. You are the star of episode 600, because
correct.
Good for you.
Rusty Barnett, Tom Brown, appreciate you guys. Nick Jansen. Look,
Kirkus, you got to tell me, bro.
All you guys, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in live every single day at noon, and we're unbelievably grateful, humbled to have done 600 episodes. Obviously, if the show failed, we would have stopped at 50 or whatever, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And it's because of you guys. And there's a private group now on Facebook too that Craig Dulesky started. So
I pop in every once in a while.
It's the RPR. It's great.
It's usually a
hilarious.
picture of of Nessie.
Yeah. Nessie Wiseman.
Nessie Wiseman. It's usually a picture of me as Nessie Wiseman, which I love.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's just you guys connecting over your shared love of me, and I love that.
Yep.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, the show.
Of
your
course.
shared love of the show.
But also Jessie Wiseman.
But also me, and so I appreciate that, and we love you guys.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, we're going to do a show. We're going to do a normal show, so let's go.
Normal show. Joe Biden is going to be played by Jim Carrey on Saturday Night Live. That was the big announcement yesterday. It's a great fit, but
You think so?
yes, look at the side-by-side picture. He's
Yeah.
going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Remember him as Fire Marshal Bill and all that shit? Like Jim Carrey's
No,
great.
you're right.
He's great. He can do anything. The guy can do anything, literally. I want to tell you why this is happening. 'Cause nobody's talking about that at all. And right now, it's just a big splashy headline of like, oh, hey, Jim Carrey's doing SNL. First of all, Saturday Night Live rejected Jim Carrey. Told him he wasn't good enough. And then in Living Color, ended up picking him off and said, hey, man, we'll take you. We think you're awesome. And then he exploded off of In Living Color. He likes doing SNL from time to time if he's promoting something. But he is not a fan of doing that show after not getting on it all those years ago. Because let's face it, Jim Carrey has a massive ego. Not that we all don't, so I'm not even trying to say that I don't either,
Sure.
right? I still hold a grudge against SNL. Jim Carrey, who's made fucking $20 million a movie for 15 years, has a massive grudge against SNL. Here's what the genuine reason is for Jim Carrey doing Biden on SNL. Joe Biden, as you know, Joe Biden and everything else, is not getting a lot of screen time at all. Anywhere on any of these outlets, nothing. And when he does, and he's making gaffes like the thing yesterday, where he gets off the plane and starts waving to people that aren't there. The memes have been hilarious with Chubbs and Abraham Lincoln. You know the shot from Happy Gilmore in the sky. When they're all dead in the sky at the end of Happy Gilmore.
Oh, yeah,
and he's
yeah.
waving
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Chubbs
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Abraham Lincoln
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
alligator who bit
Yeah.
his arm up. Those memes are going around and it's hilarious. And it's like when you have to limit the coverage of your presidential candidates, you need more help. The headlines are still being eaten up 24 hours a day with Trump, all day long. Nothing to do with Joe Biden at all. SNL in the past has been able to flip elections. Now, this was years ago, and then you're trying to test the power of television and how viral these clips are going to go. They did not want McCain and Sarah Palin in there in 2008 with Biden. Therefore, Tina Fey, who has never done characters, went in and was like, I'll do this character and I can do this, and made Sarah Palin look like a fucking dummy. And in my opinion, that it really swayed that election. Now, I don't think McCain was going to win anyways, but it made the hatred for Sarah Palin real. Now, here's what they're doing with Jim Carrey playing Joe Biden on this. Joe Biden is struggling to find an audience right now, struggling to find camera time. Because Jim Carrey is going to be in there, and Jim Carrey is a lovable guy and a great
hates
Donald Trump. So what they did was they're sticking with Alec Baldwin as Trump. He's coming back, and then they're putting Joe Biden in there. He's going to create and Maya Rudolph as Kamala, who's also lovable.
Oof.
They're trying to create a duo that is more exciting than the actual duo who is running in this election. And you're going to get about a month's worth of, so about 4 episodes out of it, because I think they start October 3rd. You're going to get about 4 weeks out of that. And the ability for these clips to go viral with Jim Carrey playing Biden and Kamala Harris being played by Maya Rudolph is the best version of the two of them that you can possibly get. And I can promise you this. There was a huge sit down behind the scenes that said, all right, how do we figure out a way to turn around this election and make the two of them more likable and affable and give the best comedic versions of themselves that these guys aren't giving on the campaign trail right now? And the only way to do that is with Jim Carrey, still the best, today, because Robin Williams is dead. Is he the best comedian right now?
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
The best comedian?
Actor. Best comedic actor.
Yeah.
Who would be better than... Who would you put up against Jim Carrey right now? Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No.
For my money, it's still Jim Carrey. For real.
Okay.
That guy can dive into any character there is and go hard.
He's a lot.
He's a lot.
He's a lot.
And he's great, but he's always great. He always delivers.
He really does.
There was a clip that popped up. And again, all of our devices are listening to us. I'm going to watch that doc with Jessie. I saw, again, we've gotten all the messages. So I'm going to watch that doc with you about all our stuff is listening to us. I had this conversation with, I think it was Giorgio the other day in Nashville. And the next time I pulled up my YouTube was a clip of Jim Carrey at the Golden Globes. And it was just, a year and a half ago or a year ago, whatever that was. Mm-hmm. God damn, and he destroyed the room. Yeah. You know, it was like, I know, you know me as
right
2-time Golden Globe winning actor, Jim Carrey. And
for my money, what was the VMAs that he showed up?
Oh, yes, a fog hat.
Would it kill you to play a little
fog
hat completely in character? Could that happen today? No. You're right. You're right.
It's still Jim Carrey.
You're right.
And so I think, and look, we all know Jim Carrey's hatred for Trump, and that's fine. But for the left, who is the voting audience for this election, right? Mm-hmm. That is the best possible choice you can pick. And I promise you, behind the scenes, they all sat down and said, who do we get? Who can we get? And I bet you, they backed up the truck cash-wise for Jim Carrey. And they sat down with him and they said, look, this is not just important for SNL. This is important for this election, and you have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that was the final decision that was made behind the scenes, for real.
And it makes sense. I mean, anything they can do, and they are going to make them lovable, and they're going to be the smart side of the comedy.
Correct.
Trump is going to say the stupid things, and they're going to be like, what?
Yeah,
You're crazy. People are giving us money.
Yeah. Itamashi, buy something nice for Be Best Jess. We will.
Well, first it said buy something Jacob Phrase. Crazy, whatever. Buy yourself something real nice, Ross. And then it was like, buy something nicer for Jables. And then they're like $20. You know what I mean?
Rusty Barnett was
now
like,
they're competing over buying nicer things for me. And again, I love it. I love it. So again, it always turns into a love for me, which is, gosh, the Jim Carrey in me really loves that. But.
Yeah. Look, we love the Jablers, dude. Hottest girl on the planet. But either way, look, even me, I will be glued to that. I'll be watching SNL for Jim Carrey and Maya Rudolph for sure. She's already played Kamala Harris and destroyed.
Kills.
Yeah. And so the two of them together, holy shit. I wish they had a better Trump. That's my only gripe, I guess.
And what do you mean by better?
The way Alec Baldwin plays it, it's just it's not. There's no
someone
fun
who
to
hates
it.
him.
Yes, there's no fun to it. So I wish it was like I wish it was Frank Caliendo, to be honest with you, or somebody like that. It would be great. Somebody with some comedic. Not that Alec Baldwin's not great at comedy, but
he is. He's just never been known for impressions. Like he is actually a very funny, like in interviews, off the cuff.
Yeah, his Tony Bennett's really good.
Hosting, like he is hilarious. And you know, I guess he has done some. He's been on SNL fucking 20 million times.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Next up here, Jabes. Speaking of presidents, Barack Obama. That release date has finally been announced. For Barack Obama. I was wrong about this. I said about 6 months ago they would try to drop it in October for the election. I think they just announced the release date. It is November 17th after the election.
Interessant.
Very interesting. And I think this is a strategy on the publishers. Look, I'm going to go back to this SNL thing. I think this is a strategy on the publishers who look at the landscape and be like, all right, great. Since Trump is probably going to win, the country is going to be angry. 2 weeks later, you're going to be able to buy the Democratic Heroes book, and it will probably be the highest selling memoir of all time. Michelle's was number one. Michelle Obama's was number one. already.
Would it help Biden at all if he put it out before?
No, because I think here's the thing. I think it would overshadow Biden.
Okay.
And right now, he is already overshadowed enough that it's like, dude, Barack is not running in this election, man. This is you. It's another candidate. No matter how much you want to, dig him up and have him at all these events and all this shit, it is not Barack Obama you're voting for. Therefore, I think because this is the same publisher we had for Matt's book, right? I think this is probably the best strategy they could to sell the most books. And the other thing that's odd about this, and this is a shitty move, and I'll call them out for it, is it's not going to be one book anymore. It's going to be two. So now you can double down in your profits of like, hey, we're going to split somebody's memoirs into two. No offense. There has been no history no president in the history of this country who's ever had two memoirs about their life back to back. Like,
is it just the same one split into two, or?
Yeah, it's gonna.
So it's just part two.
Part two, yeah. So now they're saying part one and part two. This isn't, a fucking encyclopedia set. Like, this is. You were there just as long as every other president is there. No one has had two memoirs about their life before. It's a shitty move on the publisher, and it's shitty because of the people who are actually fans of Barack Obama. Now you're gonna make them buy two different books, and it's like, come on, man. No one's life, no president's life is two books. No one's is two books.
I would venture that no one, president or otherwise.
Yeah,
no one.
Even Keith Richards, when he wrote the second biography, was like, hey, man, I got the first one.
We got the gist, bro. Yep. Let me guess. Still doing drugs, causing problems, still doing whatever the fuck you want, still making a shit ton of money, still not getting in trouble or dying. Great. I read that already.
Yeah. So it's shitty for his fans. It's shitty as a publishing outfit, but they're doing it for money, obviously. And two memoirs just makes you look like a dick. No one's that important. No one.
How long do you think, by the way, because you guys were up against an Obama.
Who we beat. We knocked out Michelle Obama.
You knocked out Obama. Now, this publisher will always have to compete. Like anyone that has a book coming out with this particular publisher or anyone, how many times will they have to compete with an Obama? Do you know what I mean? Like it's now the daughters. Do you know what I mean? It's like every year you're like, well, an Obama book is coming out that year. So it's like the Jobs movies.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Steve Jobs movie. Yeah. Oh, who's playing him this year? It was Ashton Kutcher. Then it was like Big Dick Fassbender. And,
exactly.
Who knows what it's going to be next year for the next Jobs movie. But it's always going to be an Obama book. There's enough of them. They keep putting stuff out.
Yeah.
You will always have to compete.
With an Obama. And it's like, if you want to counter programming, my book comes out the week after. So
week after Obama's?
Yeah. You can get as the sun rises, it dawns on him. Because right now in publishing, same with films, there's nothing comedic like coming out whatsoever. There's zero comedies coming out. And I can tell you now that this release date was just announced today, every other publisher is going to push their books because they will have no shot at number one on the New York Times bestseller list. There's no way. This will be there for weeks and weeks and weeks. What was hers, like 19 or something? I mean, it was something crazy. November 17th. And again, smart move if you're looking at the pattern of the election. Yeah, man, people are going to be pissed off. 2 weeks later, they're going to be pissed off enough. Let's buy the greatest presidents of all time book. Like, for real, that's how they're going to market it. That is how they are going to market it. Cardi B, Jabes.
Yep.
Getting a divorce.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I am outraged and appalled, and I'm just wondering what could have possibly went wrong. So it's just the same shit. Just cheating.
Here is the hilarious thing, right? You write this song "Wet Ass Pussy."
Sure.
And that's still and look, if you listen to the graphic description of how she gives blowjobs and that thing, one would think she could never lose a man. No, not true.
Not true.
And the internet, Twitter was hilarious about this announcement, by the way, especially because they call it Black Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And every black woman on Twitter was just like, dude, if I'm worth a gajillion dollars and I'm as sexually explicit in the bedroom as I am in the lyrics of my music, and you can't keep a fucking husband at that point, how is there hope for the rest of us? And it's true. If you're Offset, though, I don't get it, bro. That is a meal ticket right now. That is the fucking your whole bowl of soup right there. That is your whole bowl of Campbell's chunky soup.
Right.
What are you doing, dude? Ride that out. She'll be cool for another, 3-4 years probably, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Ride that out for the next 3-4 years. After that, yeah, get off the train, you know?
I wonder if she isn't like that. I wonder if she's like in bed at 9. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
And that song came out and he goes, for who? And you're doing this with who?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It could be.
She's real busy and always looks like super busy and always looks on point. Is always like dressed to the nines, glam, everything, no matter what.
That hair and makeup team in that wardrobe, that shit takes all fucking
That's
day too.
All day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and she has a kid.
But it's their kid.
I know. Well,
It's not like it's somebody
we
else's.
know how that goes.
Yeah, that would have been.
It's her kid.
He would have left a long time ago with somebody else's kid, but
Right, but she's got to take care of the kid, be glammed up, do all
Right,
the things
right,
that she
right,
does. I don't know.
he was fed up with the bullshit. He was just like, "Look, dude,
She's a fraud. In his mind, she's a fraud. He was promised wet ass pussy,
and he did not get it."
and he got sweatpants
And asleep by 9.
asleep by 9.
Yeah. Yep.
And
So-
again, I didn't commit fraud on you. Like, you knew everything that you knew that was me. Do you know what I mean? So there's a difference. You just can't be a hypocrite.
Oh man, the fact they're getting divorced. Look, you don't leave that train. You don't leave the Kardashian train either, man. We were driving through Nashville, grabbing some food at the last second, and who do we see on the McDonald's menu on the drive-through? Travis Scott. The Travis Scott has got his own line of McDonald's food now at McDonald's. What was it called, Giorgio?
I think it was just the Travis Scott meal, and it was
yeah, that's
just a
right.
bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah. It was a bacon cheeseburger, but like it might have barbecue sauce. You could dip your fries in barbecue sauce or something like that or whatever. And Dan was like, "How much do you think he got for something like that?" And I was like, "Oh, he got millions from that." And I go, "The only person he can thank on that is Kris Jenner." And then what did that dum-dum do? You know, he knocked up the Golden Goose, and then he fucking just couldn't do it. Couldn't be with fucking hot ass Kylie Jenner and their $1 billion. She's $1 billion with a B.
No, she doesn't. But close enough.
Close enough. You know,
Close
you have
enough.
your own meal at McDonald's, bro. Do not leave the Kardashian family. Do you think you would have gotten your own fucking meal at child-friendly McDonald's with the clowns and the Hamburglar and Mayor McCheese if it weren't for Kris Jenner? Dude, what the fuck are these people doing? I just don't understand it. The money ain't coming in forever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And unless you have like the best businessman, you'll probably blow it on stupid shit, chains or fucking cars or whatever else it is. Like,
Right.
come on, man. I just don't. Cardi B and Kylie Jenner, if they're getting ditched, come on, man.
Right.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy, Jabes. We get some sponsors who pay for the show to be on the air, and they have.
Maybe it was too wet,
Oh, the pussy?
you know?
Hey, man, there's some tricks you can do to get around that, too, you know?
Just a little slippery.
Yeah. Throw a little V sign down there, and, you know,
Sure.
good to go after that. Everybody knows that trick. Yourself included.
Sure.
Happy 600, baby! We got some sponsors who pay for this. Look, man, some of these sponsors have been with us since day one, and we're super stoked, man. Ghostbed's been on here as long as I can remember, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Again, look, they've been with us for OG homies. They've been with us for forever, and they do all of our shows on our network. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. 30% off if you're a member of the military, a first responder, a teacher, and you work in the government, dude. Man, this weekend was rough. It wasn't even a weekend.
Right.
Who goes on an all-day bender with Kid Rock and John Daly on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday, yeah.
Man.
You do, and no one feels sorry for you. Carry on.
I don't feel sorry for myself either, James.
Okay, carry
that's all
on.
I'm saying. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. If you're a regular dum-dum like myself, 25% off, and you get 2 free pillows with a mattress. Best in the biz there. Dingus McCunnilingus now said that Cardi B has a snail trail going on. I have no idea. I have no idea if that's true. And Craigers just gave me 10 for the double Q with a Chi large. He knows that I love that as well at McDonald's. You can eat it right in your bed, which is where Jessie and I enjoy it. Right on the ghost bed mattress. That's why you got to get that protective cover. You're going to wake up the next morning with a lot of weird stains on it from mustard and
smoke
ketchup.
weed at night.
That's what happens. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Today, as always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest there at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. And all those deals are applicable with that 36-month pay-as-you-go program. Next up, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com, Jabes.
Boom, 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 boom. Shablankers.
Blanks, 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 There it is. 4 amazing flavors: lemon, orange, grape, and orange. 10-pack, 40-pack, 750-milliliter bottle. You can rip it open and squeeze it into any liquid available, and it'll get you going. Lasts longer than 5-hour energy. I got it here. I brought the Ross Dicks Out for Harambe mug today, and I got it in there. I am pounding the water all day long today. Needless to say, go to StrikeForceEnergy.com, promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off. And I'm going to throw this back for $600 for StraightRazors.com. Go ahead and give the people what they want. Give them what they want for $600. You know? No?
I'm scared.
Why? Who cares?
I care. I mean, I don't care, but a lot of people care.
It's too late at this point. We've got 500 episodes out there with it in there.
No.
So go ahead and say it.
No.
Go ahead and say it, James.
No, dude.
The people want it. The people want it. I'd do it. My voice is crushed today.
Oh, you like it?
There it is.
Well, it's my last show, so
We're not doing it. We're not doing the cancel culture bullshit. I don't care. I don't care. I love Asians. I don't give a shit. For real. Smartest human beings on the planet. I wish we had more of them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
None of them are avoiding arrest, you know? Go to straightrazors.com, promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off. Best razors, straight razors in the biz, Jabes. And, man, they started with us from day one. And, you know, we love them. And we just want to give them a shout out. They're not on the show right now, but we love those guys, man. And Luke Webster and everybody over there. Go to straightrazors.com, promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Aftershave is the best. All their shaving products are the best, man. And we love those guys at straightrazors.com. Jabes, I want to talk about my run-in with American Airlines on the way back.
Okay.
I was going to the restroom, and I said, hey, man, I'll be right back. Can you just check me in or whatever? And they were like, we need to see that guy. So Giorgio came into the bathroom and got me, and they were like, hey, you got to come to the front desk. And they were like, we've got to pull up your thing. Apparently, I am on a list now at American Airlines for not wearing my mask properly on a flight. And they asked me if I was going to wear it properly or else I would be banned from American Airlines. Now, on next week's show, you're going to hear Rob O'Neill talk about getting banned from Delta Airlines for the mask thing. Here's what happened. First of all, when she asked me this and asked for my confirmation of, sir, will you wear the mask properly and blah, 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 or else you will be banned from American Airlines. She pulled her mask down all the way to ask me this question. What are we doing? 1. 2, it would be a privilege to get banned from American Airlines. That's the worst. That's the worst of them. We fly all the time for work. I'm going to be realsies here. We'll probably go Delta One. I actually enjoyed Spirit because we had to fly from Spirit.
Go Spirit, I think, whenever I can.
And Southwest.
Or Southwest.
Southwest is flying everywhere, man. Jared took Southwest to Nashville. I didn't even think about it. And I was like, fuck, man. So I don't give one baker's fuck if I get banned from American Airlines. Now, here's the crazy thing in the hypocrisy in this, right? I was actually wearing this mask on a flight. It was down, I guess, like below my nostril or something like that. And a stewardess had asked me to pull it up, in which I did. Maybe whatever. Someone must have said something getting off the flight, is all that I can figure out from this. But in this world of fucking snitchery that we're going through right now, like I am so goddamn. Everybody knows my feeling on the mask and how much I hate it and all of this shit. But the extreme level that people are taking this shit, like we saw 2 people in hazmat suits on the other flight, like full on fucking hazmat suits get on the plane. There was a Mexican dude next to me who had a oxygen mask with one of those plastic tubes that went somewhere. I didn't see where the rest of that bag went for his mask and all this other shit. And now people are snitching on you on flights for not having it above your nose and everything else. And it's like, it's all bullshit. All of it is entirely bullshit.
I know. And you can say that all you want. And you can scream it to the heavens and you can be pissed about it all you want. You can try not to wear it, which is what you do. You take it to the very last second before you put on that mask. Someone needs to tell you pretty much everywhere we go to put it on. That's fine. It's your protest. It's your thing. It's fine.
It's not a protest.
I know. It's just your thing. It's your thing. I know you don't. Nobody does. Nobody does.
Yes.
But the point is, we thought for a second, even with the airlines, Dan had told us, like, just tell them that you have some condition, whatever, that you can't wear it. Yeah. We thought that we had some kind of semblance of being able to, in some situations, not wear it. That is not true.
Yeah.
It's over. It's done. They'll kick you off the flight. They won't let you go into the restaurant. You can't buy the food that you need. Like, they're not going to let you do the things that you want to do without wearing the mask.
So
you wear the fucking mask, right?
No. Here's the deal. I'm going to stop doing the things that's like, I'm going to limit my travel.
Okay.
I'm going to limit my travel. I'm going to limit the time that I go out of my house, like me personally. Just because I'm over it and I don't want to do it. And I had this conversation with somebody the other day where all throughout this pandemic, all of us that work with us on this show and Drinkin Bros and everything else, from North Carolina to here, none of us believe in this mask and all this other stupid shit, right?
Right.
American Airlines had that flight was sold the fuck out. I get a fat man in the middle seat or whatever, right? We got these tickets last minute. Like he's on top of me, I'm on top of him. There is no social distancing. There is no 6 feet. There is no seats anymore in between. And American Airlines was the one who came out and said, we're going to pack these flights or else we're going to go bankrupt. If you're not going to abide by the other social fucking distancing rules, what the fuck does it matter for wearing mask? Because several times throughout it, like, you can't hear the stewardesses through the mask, so they're constantly pulling it down. That's just coronavirus then all throughout the fucking plane, if that's what you believe in, right?
Right.
So me personally, after this, like, yes, I'm going to limit the things that I do, because I don't care enough to do that and walk around like that. And like, man, I had to go to this. I went to the gym the other day, and you have to wear it like full time at the gym now, like a mask at the gym. Like, I'm gonna go in and cancel the membership until this is over. God's honest truth. I can't work out in a fucking mask. I feel like I'm breathing in my own shit, and like, I feel
your own shit.
Yeah, for real. And to the point of, I'm under the weather today. I never get sick. I'm wearing I wore a fucking mask everywhere, for Christ's sakes. And now I'm still sick with a cold or whatever. And I think it's genuinely because when you've gone out to these things and you're wearing a mask, this last event that I was at, this charity event, was the first time that no one had mask on. It was not a requirement. We didn't have to do shit. It was amazing. No mask the entire, didn't think about it the entire time I was in Nashville. And I got to shake people's hands. I got to hug people. I got to fucking have normal experiences with people. However, the last 6 months, everywhere I've gone, you've got to squirt up with hand sanitizer. You've got to wash your hands everywhere. You got to wear this mask. You got to whatever. I feel like it weakens your immune system where it's like, dude, you should be out in the world. This is what you do with our kids. And like, I'm glad you do it because I've seen other parents who don't do it. Where it's just like, hey, if they drop food on the floor or whatever, like it builds up your immune system. Yes. Jessie always tells me, eat it, pick it up, eat it. It's great. Yeah.
Go outside.
Yes.
Get dirty.
I feel like my immune system has been weakened throughout this process because I'm so clean. Everybody's so clean. And I think this upcoming next cold and flu season, which they're going to blame on COVID, I can fucking promise you that.
But it'll be the hygiene hypothesis where everyone has weakened their immune system because they haven't been exposed to anything.
Correct.
Possibly. Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
I think it is a problem to, these people that really have been quarantining, because my kids kind of have day one.
I get sick.
He gets sick.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if it was that. It's a long day. It's, these other things don't go away. That's the other thing that people don't realize is like a common cold. If you didn't sleep very well, if you drank all day, if you traveled, whatever, like your immune system is down. Therefore, if any germ, anything, you will get sick. How your body deals with that sickness is the immunity that you've built up from being sick before.
Right.
So, yes, you're going to get sick from things in the world. It's still going to happen, mask or not, touching, whatever.
It is, but like I find it odd this week alone. It was our child's first day of school.
Yes.
He gets sick that day. First interactions with kids and doing the other shit, right?
Right.
Me. This is the first interaction where we went to a big event with a couple hundred people, and I shook a lot of hands and pictures and all that other stuff, and I get sick as well, and it's like it's fucking bullshit. Therefore, like me personally, I'm going to limit the amount of travel and things that I do for the rest of the year, like because I'm tired of it, and like it was. The travel to get to and fro to these places is not enjoyable anymore. Where it is like, look, we've always bitched about TSA and all that other shit, right? Now that's actually easier because no one is flying. So when we go into these airports, Giorgio, I have the fucking clear. Giorgio beat us going through normal shit every single time, dude.
Easy peas, dude.
And he
easy peas.
And Dan would always say something to him of like, hey man, you should get the pre-check of the clear, like you fucking peasant. Well, guess what? The fucking peasant made it through security before all of us every single time, right?
Damn straight.
Yeah. And
peasant.
And it was hilarious.
Please.
And don't think that I didn't notice because I did. And it's like, dude, that means there is no one traveling. Therefore, it's like, dude, we're the people that are traveling, we're all scarfed up, bundled up, all this other bullshit. Even going to a restaurant to buy a beer. We got a beer to get on a flight. Now you have to order food with that beer at the Austin airport. You have to buy a plate of French fries or a fucking thing of potato chips, right? When we got the beers were ready in 2 seconds because you're just pulling down the tap. And I go, hey, what about those fries that we paid an extra $8 for or whatever? And they were like, oh man, we don't have those ready. Keep the fries.
Right.
Keep the fucking fries.
Right.
What are we doing with all this stuff? So for me personally, because I don't enjoy it, like, dude, I'm going to cancel the gym membership. I'm going to limit my travel this year, and hopefully this will all go away. Either that or these companies are going to end up going bankrupt, to be honest with you. Like, because the paranoia on these flights is fucking weird too now, where it's just like, when you're that close to people and you're not used to it, people are on edge, man, on that flight, where it's just like any little cough or sneeze, people are freaking out. And I was the one sneezing, and I had a fucking mask on because I'm sick. I get sick at shaking people's hands again because it's my immune system is so built up now that it's like, oh, if I don't wash every square fucking inch of my body to go into a restaurant or a fucking thing, like, or an airport.
So I've said I respect that decision. I've said before because of my kids and because of how I just have to make this something that is fine. It just has to be.
It does.
Because
And-
I
and
can't,
when-
for me and for him, he has to wear a mask to school. I have to make it
Right.
fun and like just be
and
safe
same. And when we're with our kids,
for sure.
I will always wear the mask and I never have a problem with it, right?
Right, but I think that's
But solo, if I'm by myself now, like gym, airplanes, all that other shit, like that's a choice that I'm going to make me personally, or I'm just like, fuck it. I'm not going to do it, man.
Right.
And I'll wait till this blows over, I guess, if it blows over. Because that's the other thing is like looking around at the people on these flights and these airplanes and all the shit and the fear on people's faces. Again, when you hear a cough or a sneeze, I don't know if it will end. Even when they say, hey, man, we've got a vaccination and all this other shit, I have a feeling you're still going to have a certain segment of the population that is going to be like China, and they're just going to continue to wear masks forever because they're afraid of whatever it is. And they've also become comfortable within these masks. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to stay for a while, man, years. Do you think?
I think so. I think some people will. Like I said, there's still people out in the woods from Y2K. So
Yeah.
there are going to be people that do it, and it may be the same as China, and that was my problem with it, because I was just like, dude, fuck that. Mm-hmm. But there's some people that don't in China, right? It's a choice that paranoid, immune compromised people make. Right. And I would hope for it to turn to that all these paranoid people mm-hmm. can wear their masks.
Yeah.
And it'll just be a normal thing of like, you're wearing your mask because you're scared.
Right.
And I'm not because I'm not.
Yeah. So the other part about this, the last part I'll say about this, was inside all of these airports, because we were in 4, right? We had a layover and then a thing to the thing. If you're in a restaurant, you're allowed to take it off. Right. So all of these restaurants inside of airports, like, TGI Fridays and mm-hmm. Applebee's and all that other bullshit, where you're essentially out towards the terminal a little bit, you got the outdoor seating and then you get seating by the bar. As soon as you walk in there, you're allowed to take off your mask and sit there and have a fucking 3-hour conversation or go to
mm-hmm.
the bar or whatever it is mm-hmm. without a mask. What is the point? Mm-hmm. What is the fucking point of any of it then? If you're just gonna walk in and then get on the plane with these people, like, it's ridiculous and dumb, and therefore, for the rest of the year, at least, I'm going to limit my travel, and we'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, and then the gym thing, like, I'll just cancel that. To work out in that, holy fucking shit, man! I felt like I was gonna die. Like, you're just breathing in your own shit, and they were like,
yeah.
And there's a set of rules that they give you, and this is Gold's gym. There's a set of rules that they give you where it's like, if you start to feel yourself breathing too hard, if you exerted too much energy, you can pull it out from your face for no longer than 3 seconds to catch your breath, and then it's got to be back on. And it was just like, and I saw somebody get warned over it too. And same thing, somebody must have snitched on him or whatever. And I was like, man, I'm all done with that. So when it goes back to normal, if it does, then I'll go back there. But until then, fuck it, for real. And I wish I could go Kanye on it, like he did yesterday, because that was the greatest thing. One of the greatest things I've ever seen, by the way. Did you hear what he did on Twitter yesterday?
With the peeing on the...
Pissing all over the Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
He threw his Grammy in a toilet
yeah.
and proceeded to piss all over it.
We have different views.
That video is up to 26 million.
On Kanye.
26 million views on Twitter alone. Just mm-hmm. on Twitter alone on mm-hmm. this one, right? Is he crazy? Yes. But he made some great points. I don't know if you went through the tweets. Mm-hmm. So Giorgio has a music industry background, and he went because he's got a lawsuit against Jay-Z and Universal for his contract. He said his contract is unfair and it's bullshit and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, he's been locked in this for like 2 years, and he goes, I'm not releasing any new music until I get a new contract or get out of this contract, right?
Okay.
He proceeds to post every single page of his contract, tweet by tweet. And he said, if there's any lawyers out there, can you tell me how bad I'm getting fucked over on this deal? And I was like, whoa. Every musician, by the way, came out in his defense and was just like, yeah, man, we're getting fucking snowed in this. So I read it because I'm bored. I'm on a flight trying to get through this. And I know these contracts because I've had to sign 1 million of them for movies and books, because you have royalties the same way as musicians do, but it just works differently. And I was like, I wonder what his percentage is. So when I was going through his contracts, You know the record label is getting 75% of what Kanye makes? And it's
Holy shit.
It is these same contracts that I've signed a million times, like over the last 20 years for the entertainment industry. And I was like, oh my God. And then there's step ups inside of it, inside of these deals where it's like, if he sold $6 million overseas, it would get bumped up to a 26% royalty. If he sold $7 million, it got bumped up to a 27% royalty. But he was like, look, man, in all of this, there's all these hidden fees and bullshit that they charge you for. And he goes, you will never reach these bonuses as a music artist. And he's right. They do the same thing in films and they do the same thing in books, but they're not taking 75%.
Why do you sign that, though?
That's a great point. And that's what Giorgio said. I think, and here's my guess with this, right? As an artist, you sign these deals, especially like new artists who are starting out and everything else, right? You don't have a choice because you don't have a way to pay for production or get your music out there and all this other shit, right? Mm-hmm. There should be some form of split that is even on the back end if your shit blows up and you do well or whatever. Mm-hmm. With Kanye, like at this point, what I'm told, Giorgio, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you were telling us in the van on the way back, was that's a pretty stock standard music contract for every musician, right?
Yeah, 25/75 is pretty standard after expenses, though, so that's really needs to be pointed out. And then if your record label's shit, you might have a 50/50, or if your record label's sponsored by a really big musician, I've heard of like 80/20, to be honest. Like Ausla, Skrillex's record label is usually 80/20 for those artists.
Okay. So if you want the promotion and the other shit and the Universal and all that other stuff, right? And look, I've sold 2 movies to Universal. It's the same unit, essentially split off. Mm-hmm. And I think my deal with that, and it was because it was Universal, was 60/40. And even then I was like, fuck, man, that's not the greatest, and because they did nothing for me. And I got hit up with charges in there for promotion fees of like $50,000 where they were like, hey, we'll get you on whatever talk show and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. They didn't do anything, nothing. They made a poster. And even that poster I got charged for. And that poster I got charged for $15,000 for the fucking movie poster. And it was just like, holy shit, dude. And those fees add up and all that other shit. But if I don't have Universal, and for that movie, it was FDR American Badass. If I don't have Universal, I don't get that Netflix deal. That movie doesn't go out on Netflix, and I don't get to be seen by a bunch of people and blah, 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 blah. So it's like, it's this weird necessary evil. And, I think what he did yesterday actually helps. Did he lose his fucking mind? Yeah, he did. Did he post some other shit that got him banned for 12 hours? Yeah, he did.
Did Rick Fox have to tweet
that he got banned
and
for 12 hours?
let people know that?
Yeah.
Sure.
But there was some helpful things in there where he was just like, hey, man, fuck you. Now, the Grammy thing is interesting because I've heard a rumor for years that you can buy a Grammy. Like a label can buy that off. Mm-hmm. What do you say, Giorgio, on that?
Buying a Grammy, that's like the highest level of like shadow government in the music industry.
You can buy a Golden Globe.
You can buy a #1 on iTunes, basically.
Yeah, and you can buy a Golden Globe. Weinstein has done it for years.
Right.
So
is he saying the Forbes list is racist?
No, he said Forbes, the editor of Forbes, was racist.
The editor of Forbes was racist.
And then he proceeded to take a screenshot and then post his number online. That's what got him the 12-hour ban, I guess. It depends on what context it is. Like for us, we go on air and talk about shitty companies. We're talking about our personal experiences. Putting out a blanket statement of somebody's a white supremacist and putting their number up, you can't do that.
Sure.
But if you're talking about a work experience for a business, you're allowed to do that. You can't just post somebody's shit like that. But there was some good points in it yesterday, and a bunch of musicians came to his cause. But yes, Jessie, he has lost his mind, and I clearly agree with that. Like, you know that, right?
Yeah.
The rest of it I just find hilarious.
Right.
Just pure comedy at its highest form, and that's it.
Again, we deal with this whole thing way differently. Like, you will lean into the madness, right?
What do you mean?
You will lean into the crazy stories and the madness of this time and, like, get really in there. And I can't, because things are so crazy, I cannot go down another crazy rabbit hole. Do you know what I mean? I can't deal with someone else's craziness right now.
Sort of. You had some strong opinions about this Social Dilemma movie, and I now I want to see it, to see if it has changed your perspective on anything. And I tell you what, on Monday's show we will watch it and go into it together. But we've gotten a lot of messages from listeners about this, of like, hey,
here's one thing I'm going to say about the show. I'm on the right side of this social dilemma.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
You give me shit for it. Everybody gives me shit for it. Get on there more. Get on it. Get on it. You're never on your phone. Blah, blah, blah. I'm on the right side of history.
All right.
And you will see from this documentary
Monday
everything I've been saying all along.
So
it's true.
Let's put this out to the audience. All right. So Social Dilemma on Netflix, right?
On Netflix.
Watch it this weekend. Jesse and I will watch it this weekend, and we will have a huge conversation about it. That way, everybody in the message boards on YouTube and all that stuff are listening, wherever you're listening to. We can all talk about this together and learn, and then, whatever happens. But when I get flooded with this many messages about one thing, clearly it's fucked up and it's awesome. So I will watch it this weekend, and we will do a full report on it on Monday's show. I can promise you that. The last thing I'm going to end with is to recap a story that we talked about back in March with Jimmy Fallon. I'm sorry. We're gonna end this show on 600, obviously, with a crime corner. My last story here is this Jimmy Fallon thing. So 6 months ago, Jimmy Fallon came out and he had apologized for this blackface for doing Chris Rock on SNL. Great impression of Chris Rock. They did it in blackface. Everybody at the network approved it. Lauren Michaels approved it.
It went through so many people.
A million. And it aired.
And it was beloved.
Really funny and whatever.
Sure.
You hadn't heard from Chris Rock. Chris Rock did an interview. I guess he's coming out with starring in Fargo, or he's something he's promoting, whatever it is, right?
Okay.
And they asked him about it, and he goes, "Man, I did not have one problem with it whatsoever." He goes, "Not only is Jimmy my friend, but he goes, it's the way in which you use blackface. Like, if you're actually doing it to demean somebody or degrade somebody, then I have a fucking problem with it. Otherwise, in a sketch like that, I had zero problem with it, And he goes, in today's society, can you do blackface in 2020? No. Could you back then? Yes. And it's the same thing with my movies. The two that we used it in, it was in the context of a character, not to degrade or demean any black people whatsoever. It was in the context of the character for that comedic bit. And I don't think there should be any explanation behind it or pulling episodes and all that shit. I saw they just pulled a bunch of It's Always Sunnies in Philadelphia's as well, off of Hulu, I guess, for it. And again, if it's part of the bit in the comedy, you're not degrading anybody by doing it. So I agree with Chris Rock on this, and it was cool to at least see him come out and say, "Hey, man," especially now, because it would be real easy just to breeze right on past this and be like, "No, fuck Fallon," throw him under the bus. But it was cool to see him come out and say something to his friend. On episode 600, it would be a crime of us to not end this show with a crime corner. Crime corner.
This one's just a fun one,
Sure.
Just a fun one. From where?
Florida. Yeah.
Florida woman arrested, urinated in front of deputy, and then offered to go down on him. The important part of this story is the girl, right? So should we show or should I read first? Let me just read a
show. It's show and tell. So you show first and then tell. What do you think?
Well, it's really important, and I think James might want to set the table before we reveal the girl.
All right,
I think that's true.
The turkey's still in the oven. The rest of the
That's true. So in Leesburg, Florida, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Love that part of the country.
Yeah. God's country. Mm-hmm. A young woman who had been getting a ride home from her boyfriend is behind bars on a felony charge after she urinated in front of a deputy. So when the deputies discovered a young woman sitting in the median of 27 around 2 a.m., they offered to sit with her until someone could come pick her up. They were trying to be very, nice, like something clearly happened. You're obviously drunk. Like, just call someone, have someone pick you up. Madison Ann Bryant, we can picture her already, right?
Yeah.
19,
Yep.
told deputies she had exited a nearby truck after arguing with her boyfriend over relationship issues. We know how that goes.
Sure.
Listen, when us girls drink, sometimes it all comes out.
Yeah.
And we got to get out of that truck.
Of course.
While waiting for the ride, Bryant told the deputy that she had to pee. And that she intended to do so on the side of the road. And the deputy told her not to do that and offered to drive her to a gas station. But she was really drunk and did not wait. Instead, she pulled down her pants. And while holding onto the front of the police car, peed, just pulled her pants down and just started peeing.
Sure.
The police officers walked away because they didn't want to be involved in any stuff.
Obviously.
So when they had to handcuff her at this point, I mean, they were really going to help her out, right?
Yeah.
Let me wait here, call somebody. You're not going to jail. Don't worry. Now we got to take you, motherfucker. And there's pee everywhere. So they put her in handcuffs on the way to the Lake County jail. She repeatedly was asking for her jewel.
Yes.
Needed the jewel.
There it is.
Now we're getting a little bit more of a picture, right? We can kind of picture her a little bit more.
Yep.
She repeatedly asked for the jewel. She needed it for anxiety. So then she asked the deputy if he was married with children. When the deputy answered, she said, "I'm not trying to fuck that up. I'll suck your dick if you give me my jewel back." And I feel that, right?
Wow.
So, Brian,
Wow.
let's show her now.
I can't wait to see. Oh.
And like, this is her like disheveled. So picture this in the beginning of the night, right?
Yeah.
Hot chick.
Topanga. She kind of looks like Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Yeah. Hot, white, blonde chick.
Yeah.
And I
homeboy
highlight this story because we don't say enough about the cops doing the right thing. He didn't.
Really?
He didn't do it, guys.
Oof.
Didn't do it with this drunk, 3-named, 19-year-old blonde chick.
Man,
I think we need to, you know what I mean? Like, do more stories about the police.
Who's the police department?
Being the good guy. It's Florida, whatever. Leesburg. What's it called?
Lees County.
Yeah, Leesburg, Florida.
All right.
The police officers, the deputies,
Yeah.
did the right thing. They did not take the bait. I think it was probably just him by himself. Still did.
Man, here's the deal. And it was for a jewel.
It was all over a jewel.
Yeah.
I feel that.
You take that beach, enjoy your nights, and then give her the jewel back and
Give
be
her
on
the
your way.
jewel. Send her on her way.
It's a 19-year-old
Easy
hot
peasy.
college fucking white chick. Like, you're
Right.
good. You're good on that, right?
The only problem is that's the exact demographic that 19 years later comes back and ruins your entire life. So maybe not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know he probably weighed a couple different. There was probably 1 second where he was like, saw the jewel.
No.
Just one second he thought, right? And then he was like, no.
Man.
Not gonna do it.
You take that beach, hombre, at 19, and then you give her the jewel back, and you don't say anything else. You know, the next thing you say is, "Ma'am, where do you live?" And I'll just drop you off there, and we're good to go on this.
We're good to go.
Yep. No harm, no foul. I'm going to zip them back up, turn off that body cam, and
Right?
and enjoy the fruits of my hard labor, because it is not easy being a cop today. So let me tell you this. For any cops out there, you've been treated like shit repeatedly.
Yes.
Every single place you
You
go.
deserve a
beach.
drunken
Drunken beach from a 19-year-old hot sorority girl. You do. I'm sorry you do.
Just fought with her boyfriend. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. My God, man.
She's
For a
pissed.
jewel, you know how much she wanted that fucking jewel, dude?
So bad, dude.
I would have been a Cardi B blowjob and in real life. So, don't turn that down.
There's a lot of good officers out there.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing.
Yeah. You gotta accept, and give her a ride home, and that's what used to happen in the olden days, 70s. What's up? You're fucked up. All right, cool. Did you just you only now if she had dumped out shit all over it in front of the cop car, fine. The fact that she just urinated, it's like, all right, cool. Slide the panties back. Let's take that beach. I'll grab your jewel, and then I'll give you a ride back home. That's what would have happened in the 70s, probably 70s, 80s, right? Now, all the cameras and body cam and all that shit, the dash cam, that I'm sure because the dash cam showed up somewhere and they checked that as well. And, fuck, dude. You gotta take that beach when you can, though. But we're not living in that world.
I wouldn't say take her home, though. I would say put her back where you found her. Do you know what I mean? And drive off in that
you want to make sure she got home safely, though. Come on. I mean, that's a little much, Shapes. You get a nice beach, you give somebody a jewel, you get them home safely, And
I get that and I respect that.
Yeah.
If I'm going to save the cops, do you know what I mean? If I'm going to look more in the, to protect the policemen.
Protect and serve.
So you're drunk, you're 19, blacked out, peeing all over the place, propositioning a policeman for a beach just for your jewel. I mean, you are at a level that if you told anybody the story, no one would believe you. No one that was out with you, your boyfriend wouldn't believe you. Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he take it? Sure, bitch. You're fucking wasted. You always get wasted. So that's the only thing I was thinking is kind of like you could make it sort of like a dream that happened to her.
Yeah. Man, Leesburg.
It's a hard road.
Take that beach.
Take
that beach.
Between you Rike it and me condoning
a beach for a jewel.
Yeah.
You're canceled, James.
I'm canceled. I'm definitely canceled. And
600.
Goodbye to everyone. It was really fun.
Episode 600. We
don't know what my
goodbye
next,
to Jessie Wiseman. It's going to happen like Fighter and the Kid. I'm going to get somebody, who
and they're just going to magically
like
keep coming on, and
that's it. We're not going to say anything about it. So whoever's in that chair on Monday morning, we'll be there. Please, the only thing I ask for 600 is just go to iTunes and rate the show a 5-star and leave a review. It really helps scoot us on up the charts. Please do that for 600. That will allow us to be here with you for another 600 more. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.